Are you ready to retire? I mean, are you really ready to retire? It is a loaded question, but if you are 55 or older, it's crucial to know what retirement will look like for you. And joining me right now is Mike Douglas, the president of LifePlan Financial Design, a Lansing area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. And Mike is also a popular podcast host, so welcome into Studio 10.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, quite the title, all of the stuff that you can do. It's amazing. And so obviously based on your experiences, tell us how many people really know that answer to the question, are you really ready to retire?
Well, I think a lot of people feel like they know, but there's also this feeling of doubt and uncertainty, and that's the frustration, is that we don't really know the questions to ask. It's like when I go to the mechanic and they come out and they start trying to describe to me what's wrong with my car and I don't understand any of it, I just want to pay the bill.
Yeah.
That's basically the same thing, where people say, I want to retire, I want to do the things we want to do, we've been dreaming of this our whole lives, but how do we know if we're ready? And that's the frustration people have, is not knowing what questions to ask. So I think there's a good chunk that feel like they're close, but they don't know how to measure it.
Right. So on that note, what do you think the factors are that really tell someone if they are ready to retire?
Well, oftentimes people say, if I have $1 million, I can retire. If I have $1.5 million, $2 million, whatever the number is. And depending on where you want to retire, that number changes, right? Mid-Michigan, cost of living is pretty low compared to some parts of the country. So it's nice that you can retire on a little less, but the number really that matters is how much do you need for income? Because you could have $5 million, but if you spend $1 million a year, you don't have enough money.
Right.
You could have $500,000, and if you only spend a couple $1,000s a year, it will last your lifetime. So the number really comes down to what you want your life to look like, and then we can map out how much you need to retire.
So then why is it so important to be educated on, you know, how your money is working?
I think one of the biggest frustrations in life is when something's happening and you don't understand why. My money's going up, well, I don't really care if I don't know why. My money's going down, now I care. And so there are things that we don't understand, and that causes the breakdown in our feelings. Because when I understand it, it's okay, it's cool. But when the things go wrong and I feel like I don't have control and I don't have answers, that's a frustrating thing, whether it's health, finances, relationships, lack of understanding causes our stress. And so if we can take that stress out by saying, at least if we understand the why, it gives us some perspective on the time frames and how it all works together.
No, that makes complete sense. And, you know, for some folks that may make a mistake or two, what are those common mistakes that might interfere with someone kind of trying to get into retirement?
I think the biggest mistake is to think that a retirement plan is investments, right? Because we think of that, well, I have a 401k, I have a 403b, I work for the state, I work for Michigan State, whatever, and I have these accounts, and that's my retirement plan. But that's really just a tool that has to go into the plan. That's like saying, oh, I want to build a house, so I have a hammer. And you have to have a lot more than that. So you really need a comprehensive plan that looks at all the different areas of retirement. And from there, you use the tool of your investments to your advantage.
I love the metaphors that all you're using. Very easy to understand. So what should someone do today, if someone's at home watching this, to find out or even to make sure that they are really ready for that retirement?
You need to look at the holistic picture. You know, we just came through some tough times in the market, and depending on the day, we determine whether we're having a good year or bad year, and it literally shifts back and forth. But you need a plan that's built out by professionals. Like I mentioned with the mechanic, you know, he oftentimes, my mechanic wants to explain to me what happens, and I just want to pay the bill and leave. And so the same way with your finances, it needs to be a comprehensive plan. It should be detailed and difficult, but also easy enough that you could write it on a napkin at lunch if you're talking to somebody. And so that's the idea, is to have someone who's a professional take a look at it, give you a fair shake, and say, hey, here's how you need to adjust or plan, or here's how we can help.
Yeah, exactly. So on that note, what do you recommend kind of for this next step?
For most people, they want to have that conversation with someone who's ready to listen, not ready to talk. And so to have our clients or people when they come in and meet us for the first time, we just sit down, have coffee, and hear their story. Because the story of your life tells us where you want to go. What you've been through determines what you do or don't want to go through in the future. And so if we hear that story, we can help them understand and identify some key components moving forward to protect them.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. This is all wonderful information. So for you at home, if you really want to see if you're ready for retirement, Mike has a great offer for you right now. For the first 5 callers with savings of $500,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. Now, this will allow Mike and his team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for a successful retirement. A game plan to get you where you need to be. So the number to call is 517-200-3330. Again, that's 517-200-3330. And Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.